I'll be speaking about Parashat Beshalach. And I'll also be focusing on the Haftorah, which is found in Shoftim. And I think one of the unifying factors between the Parsha and the Haftorah this week is the role of women, and specifically powerful women. And we're introduced to 3 women throughout the Parsha and Haftorah that I think are highlighted for their strengths. First of all, we are introduced to the leadership of Miriam. After the Jewish people successfully defeat the Egyptians and cross over the Yam Suf, we're told that they sing a shira to God, and at the end of that shira, of that song of praise, we're told that Miriam leads the women in song, and she basically says, "Vatam lahem Miriam shiru lashem ki ka'oga asus v'ruchro ma'vayam." She leads the women in a song praising God, and they all follow suit after her. And then similarly, we're basically introduced to 2 other women figures in the Haftorah, which is found in Shoftim, which is the book of Judges. And we're basically told that in Parak Dalet, in the 4th parak, we're told that the Shofetet at the time is a woman named Devorah, and it's her job to judge the Jewish people at the time. And she's working closely with a man by the name of Barak, and he is the general of the army. And it's during that time that they are fighting against the Plishtim, and basically she tells him that he needs to go to war against them, and he basically says, "I'll go to war if you come with me." And she basically responds and says, "I will come with you on the condition that it will be known ki biyad isha yimkor Hashem et Sisra," that Sisra was the general of the enemy of the Plishti army, that it will be known that it was through the hands of the woman that Sisra fell. So it's very clear that she, in her role as a leader, as a very public leader actually, wants credit for joining Barak and going to war. And finally, we're introduced to a 3rd woman, also powerful in her own light, and that is Yael. And she is actually the person who's responsible for killing Sisra, for killing the enemy. And her role is a bit different. She basically sort of seduces him in this quiet way, and ultimately kills Sisra unbeknownst to him that she is an enemy, and ends up killing him with a tent pin through his temple, and then basically says, "Oh, Barak, come look, is this the man that you're looking for?" And he obviously sees the gory scene in front of him. And then when there is a shira, again a song of praise to God after the destruction of Sisra and the Plishti army, she is very much praised, and it's said in the shira, "Tivarach minashim Yael, Eshet Chever Hakini, minashim ba'ohal tivarach," that she is basically lauded as being, one of these wonderful women that needs to be praised. And I think what's so wonderful is that we're presented in these 2 segments of Tanakh with such wonderful options for role models of women. On the one hand, we have the most public figure, and that is Devorah. She's going out to war. She's judging the Jewish people in their entirety, and she's clearly a very public figure and very comfortable asserting herself and having such a public role. In the middle, we have Miriam, who seems to have leadership specifically with regard to women, and she seems to be, in this case at least, secondary to Moshe, who seems to be the leader of the entire Jewish people, but she has a significant segment in which she is basically taking that role with. And finally, there's Yael, who has more of a private role, but no less important, right? It's clear that they're all praised, and they're all seen as having significant strengths. And I think what's so valuable is that they're all so different. And it's precisely because they're able to utilize each of their strengths and mobilize their resources to do what's best, that they can find the niche for them. And I think this is a very important lesson, certainly for everyone, but I know that it's often important to look for specific women role models in Tanakh wherever we can find them, for ourselves and for our daughters, to think about all these wonderful options.